Are you having to deal with difficult clients? These are the PIAs that are never satisfied no matter what. It doesn't matter what you say or do. It doesn't matter what you tell them. They'll tell you the law is wrong. They're going to have a sense of resentment and indignation that they can't have what they want. Or are you dealing with demanding clients? These are the ones with very high expectations, but when you deliver on them, they're satisfied. Knowing which kind of client you're dealing with makes a huge difference in your practice and your peace of mind. Hi, welcome to From Porch Lawyer, where we explore the humanity of lawyering. I'm Francine, your host. A while back, one of our friends, who's a lawyer, referred a couple to us. And against our better judgment, we took the case as a favor to our friend. Side note, don't do that. This case involved the 5-acre parcel of land that had been part of a much larger parcel. And over 50 years ago, this parcel had been subdivided. And it was subdivided into several 5-acre parcels. And as part of the subdivision, a 40-foot wide easement was put on the frontage property, granting an easement to all the other parcels so that the owners of the other parcels could come and go across the frontage property. So for over 50 years, the owners of the other parcels of land had been using this easement to come and go from their property. Well, our client, actually the wife, inherited the frontage property on which the easement had been placed. Our client did not like all these other owners driving their cars and trucks back and forth on her property, and she was very resentful that they were using her property. So first, she wanted the easement to be eliminated altogether. And after reviewing all the documents, we learned that it was a granted easement and there was no legal avenue. We couldn't file a lawsuit to fix this problem, that it was a granted easement. You just have to live with it. So then she said, okay, well, since we can't do it legally that way, how about if I get all the owners to agree? Like, well, yeah, if everybody agrees, you can change. Whatever you guys want to change, you can change. Well, it turned out that she didn't get along with the other owners very well. And so when she asked them if they would either eliminate or modify this easement, they all refused. In her mind, they were being unreasonable. It didn't matter what we said or did. She remained convinced that her rights as a property owner were being violated, and she should not have to live with this easement and allowing these people to use her property to come and go. That is a difficult client. Not a demanding one, a difficult client. It wouldn't matter what we said. She was never going to be satisfied. And the reason was she was never going to get what she wanted. That's the kind of client you don't want to take as a client. I know that there will be clients who fall into this difficult client bucket and they're going to say, well, we're entitled to representation like everybody else. You know, but if you got clients who refuse to listen to you and who refuse to take the guidance when you're the expert that they hired, I think I'm going to go on a limb and say, no, you're not entitled to representation. This is criminal defense accepted. We're not talking about that. These are civil cases. But once you've taken that client, like we did with this easement case, you have to deal with that. You can't just turn your back on it. They're your client now. So how do you deal with it? How you deal with this is starting with empathy. You may not be able to completely satisfy the client, but you need to hear them out. You need to know what's underlying their frustration, their anger, or their fear, or whatever is going on. You need to find out what is at the core of their concerns by intently listening and asking very open-ended questions, and a lot of them. You want to avoid making statements that sound judgmental. I mean, really, even sounding judgmental can be a problem. And you don't want to make statements that sound like this is the final straw, this is it, or this is black and white, you can't have anything your way. It's just listening to them, letting them be heard. You have to be extremely patient during this process. So starting with empathy means that you remain compassionate no matter what. It does not mean capitulating and doing something you wouldn't otherwise do. It just means listening and being understanding. Now, this is the same strategy that we use with both our difficult clients, which we don't really have very many of, and our demanding clients, which we have a lot of. A lawyer's answers to a client's questions and concerns, they don't always give the client the news they want to hear. I mean, sometimes we do have to give bad news. But when people know that you've listened to them and heard them out and understand where they're coming from, they will take the bad news better than if they feel like you're just going through the lawyer motions. You know what I'm talking about. Just the facts, man. Here's the law. Sorry, you can't have what you want. Going through the lawyer motions. As a lawyer, it's important to be truly sincere, genuine, authentic, and to truly empathize with your client. And when you're not doing it sincerely, they know. It's pretty obvious. Being a lawyer has more to do with that connection with the person as a human being than it does about getting the law right. If you're a decently competent lawyer, you're going to get the law right. That's the starting place. So what differentiates you from every other lawyer out there? Well, it could be the human connection, because that's how we feel we differentiate ourselves in our firm from many lawyers who are just as smart as us, maybe smarter than us, but when it comes to the people connection, we have sometimes a big advantage over many other lawyers. Most of our clients are business clients. They have significant business holdings and are very successful. And as a result, many of them are very demanding clients with very high expectations. But they listen to our advice, they consider our guidance, we get along great with them, and when we deliver on those high expectations, they're extremely satisfied. Our approach with them is the same as it is when we're dealing with difficult clients. We treat the client first as a person who needs to be listened to and understood. These high demanding clients are what we like to have in our practice. Those difficult ones, like the easement case, we try to avoid. Our easement clients are still unhappy with the results. And yes, they're a bit unhappy with us since we couldn't tell them what they wanted to hear. But we don't fear repercussions. We get along with them even though they're unhappy with us. One final note on that difficult client. These are the clients that you know within probably 5 minutes of your first interview that you should not take this client. Don't take them. You know immediately. If they're arguing with you right away about how things should be in that first interview, and what they're telling you, the end version of what they're expecting is like fantasy, that's a red flag that this is a difficult client. If giving bad news to your client weighs on you, or you're not sure how to deal with demanding clients, or maybe you're having to deal with difficult clients that you wish you'd never taken, again, start with empathy. Now, empathy is one of the 15 competencies that are evaluated on the Emotional Intelligence 2.0 assessment. To become more adept at empathy and other competencies to help develop better client relationships and to provide you with the skills to deal with difficult and demanding clients, jump on a call with me. To schedule a complimentary call, use the link below. And I'll see you next time. I wanted to give you an update on the Front Porch Lawyer YouTube channel. Every week there will be at least 3 new videos, more if I get my legal work done. These videos are designed to have you look at life and business just a little differently so you can master life integration. Be sure to subscribe by hitting the button right below me, and I'll see you back here on YouTube.